Hello everybody, hope you're doing marvelously well. In this episode, we are going to try the Eventide Omnipressor plugin. And Eventide are letting us give away 3 copies of this beautiful plugin. So don't forget to enter to win that. This is incredibly exciting. I haven't got to use it yet, but I do know and love the hardware. The hardware is pretty legendary. You go to studios, you see an Omnipressor, you get excited. There's a couple of pieces of equipment that we all know and love, that every engineer and producer covets. Some of them cost $40,000, like a Fairchild 670, and some of them are just, as my dad would say, as rare as rocking horse poop. And the Omnipressor is not something I saw every day, but whenever I would see it in a studio, I would just start playing with it. Amazing on room mics, amazing on pretty much everything. Let me read the Eventide blurb which describes it, which I think is a wonderful description. It says, the Eventide Omnipressor is based exactly on the original hardware design made famous in the 70s. It is not a gentle, transparent sounding compressor. Yippee. It is a powerful sound shaping tool that will color your sound the same way that its analog predecessor has done for the last 4 decades. Beyond gating, compression, limiting, and expansion, the Omnipressor is also capable of reversing a sound's envelope, making loud sounds quiet and quiet sounds loud. The plugin also includes a prominent function dial, which is a feature on the original rack unit. This knob takes you from gating and expansion to a unity setting of 12 and all the way through different compression and limiting. And if you keep turning the dial to the right, you eventually get the dynamics reversal, where you can really start to experiment sonically. Okay, we got the plugin up here. Really is what they just described. It's designed to completely mess with the sound. The fact that it is sort of gating, expanding, and compressing and combining all of those things in a very, very unique way that you can't do with any other one piece of equipment. It's been a favorite of pretty much everybody I know for years. So to see it here is remarkable. Okay, I'm going to take a drum group here and have a listen. Now, this is a very, very dull sounding drum track. Why is that? It's me playing. This is me playing drums. It's down, down. And I've got a couple of samples in there to try and give myself some energy. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Let's have a listen again. So let's see what we can squeeze out of this. We'll take it out of bypass and just, I don't know, I'm going to make sure everything's set to default. So I'm sitting here clicking it all on default. Okay. Mix controls at maximum, the output. All right, this is everything on default. Let's just see what it does. Seriously, it's one of those kind of plugins that you just open up. Bypass. Well, it immediately makes everything just sound louder, prouder, and more exciting. And you can see there's quite a lot of effect going on here. So I've got a release time setting, I've got input meter, gain meter, and output. Let's go on the gain. Well, so it's not really adding anything to it, strangely enough. Got a sidetrain function down here, input. That's not distorting the 1 and 2, that's distorting the input stage of it. So it's pretty nasty, but hey, we're gonna mess with everything on this. That's what is great about this unit. I just went to the input and hit it super hard, and the bottom end went, and I liked it. Right, so I'm going to take the function, but have a listen to this. Look at the way the expansion there to the left is just taking the kick and the snare and just making it far more predominant. As I move it more towards the expansion and just hearing the kick and snare. So I've got like tons and tons of room in the sound before I put it on, bring it in. I don't know, it gives me almost dry, sort of 70s drums. I mean, that's freaking fantastic. All I have done so that's on the expander side. All right, go towards compression. Oh! Yes! Oh! I mean, I'm so tempted to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the bus. So now I have two of these going. I've got the one we just did where I'm getting that sort of reversed kind of like effect that's fantastic. Now I'm going to put this one on expand. Bringing the threshold all the way up, here to the right. Because it's a full drum bus, it's quite... Okay, now bring the other one in. So now I'm taking both the settings, the one with that reverse kind of effect, There's some little artifacts there that I want to mess around and get rid of, but immediately it's like super exciting. Let's just go back to what we started with. This is where you turn it to full right and you get that dynamic reversal that they're talking about. Now the heavily expanded one to the full left. Well, almost full left. Together. I'm very tempted just to do this and duplicate the original source. So now I'm going to have one with nothing done to it, and then the other two against it. I mean, it's insane. It's nutty. It's just a crazy, crazy sound. I absolutely love it. I mean, oh. That expander's so good. Let's go over to the other function here. The dynamic reversal. Bypass. Bypassed again. In. Together. With the original signal. Just absolutely fantastic. You can put it on room mics. You can do all kinds of silliness. Okay, why the heck not? I'm going to open up on bass. It's interesting because when you go full over to dynamic reversal, it can add back in the energy. That's just absolutely insane what it's doing there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to duplicate the original source and blend the two together. It's just so wrong. I love it. You know, it is exactly what It is. It is messing up the sound. It's doing all kinds of wrongness. It's like bringing in all of these like kind of extra artifacts that we can hear, like these. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I love how the drums sound so destroyed and dirty, because that's me playing so boringly, so safe, because I'm such a boringly safe, average drummer. And they've just turned me into quite an exciting drummer. Warren's an interesting drummer all of a second. If you've watched me drum in any of my other videos, you know that I just play the safest stuff because I'm just not that good and I don't play that often. I'm a guitar player, plays bass and keyboards. Drums is the last thing I do. So it's a great tool for randomizing. And people ask me all the time, what would you use to randomize? This is the plugin. This is the plugin that's going to take your, programmed drum sounds and randomize them, so that, because the problem is like when I get asked that question, which I do a lot, I always say use saturation, use delays that are out of time with the drums to roughen it up. This, I think, is the plugin that will do that. This is the plugin that will take the drum sounds and randomize them. I think do it with two different instances. Use it so it's using the expand function, and then go full right and do the dynamic reversal. And you're going to get these really messed up drum sounds. But it's going to make those sort of perfectly recorded, addictive drums or easy drummer sounds or whatever you're using, slate digital, straight trigger, all of those sounds which sound so perfect, and make them wrong. This is the wrongifier to wrongify in National Wrong Day. All right, so I'm just scraping the surface, but you can see why I love it. Because it's very unpredictable, it messes things up. You have to be careful on the input stage there, because you start using it, it can distort pretty easily. However, that might be kind of nice. You might want to bury that in parallel and just add some good old-fashioned analog emulation distortion. This is a piece of hardware that many of us know and love for exactly and precisely the reason here. But I think it has a new lease of life in this digital world where we're trying to, as I like to say, wrongify things, to randomize things and make them not sound so perfect. So thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. As you can tell, I really highly recommend this plugin. It does something that no other plugins do. There's plenty of other plugins that do their own thing. This is something I can relate to because it's dumb. For me, it's dumb. That function control alone is worth it. And then you've got indicators for gain. You can audibly hear the distortion. You know how to control it. You can take the input and then you can wind the gain and limit control over here fully to the right to reduce the gain passing through it. It's really straightforward. It's not as complicated as you might think. And frankly, if you mess it up and it sounds good, bravo. So thank you ever so much. Hope you enjoyed that. Please leave any comments and questions below. I'm sure they have a demo. I didn't check. If they do, just try it out. Or trust me, buy it. This is, to me, it's a great plugin. It's going to get used a lot in our productions. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.